Shelby County Commission committee members are recommending removing the new Chicago area from consideration for a new jail location. Now, it happened during Wednesday's Law Enforcement, Corrections, and Courts Committee. The recommendation for a location change comes after several weeks of community pushback about the potential new location. Shelby County Commissioner Henry Brooks expressed how the people's voice matters when there's significant changes to their neighborhoods.
You need to involve citizens whenever you're redeveloping or whatever you're doing, a remake or changing their community. So I have heard the opposition of the community, and I support that opposition.
Now, a developer recently proposed the new facility to the County Commission. The 71-acre site would be built at Firestone Avenue and Moorhead Street. That's just 3 miles away from the current jail at 201 Poplar. Now, this week, a new study also found that Shelby County doesn't actually need a new jail, which is quite interesting. Researchers with the Prison Policy Initiative argue that the real problems are staffing shortages and how the jail is run, not the size of the building. Now, they also say the county used shaky numbers to predict growth, even though the population is actually going down. And the group warns a bigger jail would cost more, stretch staff even thinner, and take away money from mental health and community programs. All right, I'm going to open it up to chat now. I want to open it up to you, Pastor Norman. So we're seeing a lot of things lately where I feel like the public's voice or the people's voice hasn't really mattered in a lot of development, but it seems to be taking a little bit of a switch here. So why aren't commissioners now all of a sudden taking the people's voice into consideration?
Well, first of all, kudos to Henry Brooks. She does exactly what a commissioner's supposed to do. Get the census of the community and make sure that the people who you were elected to represent have a seat at the table. And she's done exactly what's supposed to happen in that situation. And she's brought in facts. Let's look at this particular survey that was done and this policy or this report that was brought back. Do we need a jail or not? We hadn't heard that voice, and now we're hearing that alongside the community's voice. And I think this is exactly what we're supposed to do in this situation. And now we're going to look at a community that has been robbed of investment for many years. The promise of doing something positive with the Firestone land that left them vacant and void for so many years is now saying, they're saying, take this off the table and give us something better. We know that something can be done now, so give us something better than a jail.
Now, Otis, we've heard Sheriff Bonner say, I need a new jail, I need a bigger space, all of this will be fixed. But that report, as Pastor Norman just mentioned, is pointing to managerial problems.
Right, and I think there are managerial problems that's been going on over there. And that is a voice that we hadn't heard yet about the fact that we don't necessarily even need a new jail. So that needs to be a part of the conversation as well. I agree with Keith. Kudos to Henry Brooks for standing up for the people who just don't want this in their neighborhoods. Right. There are some who do, and they are saying that it will bring people, residents there, and maybe a bank there. Well, I don't know about all of that. I mean, the inmates certainly can't go to the bank. So I agree with her. We already have, if we're going to do a new jail, we already have property that the county owns. And let's do that instead of doing this on private property and basically creating a renter-owned jail, which is what people have said. And then let's include the discussion about whether we even need a new jail. I don't know that we do.
Yeah, Worth, is it back to the drawing board?
I don't know if it's back to the drawing board, but I do agree we have serious management problems within the jail, and that those need to be addressed first. And the new jail is something that's nice. It was never going to be a quick fix. It was always going to be something that was down the road. And we, by the time we're ready for a new jail, maybe that'd be about the time we'd be able to construct one. It just takes so long. I don't begrudge. If I served on the commission with Henry Brooks, I wouldn't begrudge her for bringing this either. But I'd also tell her, I can't support you because I expect all 12 commissioners now to bring a resolution saying that they don't want the jail in their district. And if they don't do it, are they not supporting their constituents? So there's pressure on them all of a sudden. And you've got certain public needs, like a jail, like a landfill, like a sanitation, location, that just aren't popular with the neighbors, and they've got to go somewhere in Shelby County. So you don't want to take any locations off the table for political reasons rather than logistical reasons.
I disagree and push back on that just a little bit. She's not arguing this based on her district.
No, she's
She
not.
said the voices of the people in the community. If there's land in your district and that district has already been used for a jail, such as the one that's already in the Sycamore View corridor, why not consider that? There's already an existing jail there. There's a gun range back there that could be utilized and pushed down and have the acreage for another part of this jail to be placed in that space. Are we looking equitably at other spaces where they don't buttress up against the life of people in a community, such as a Manassas high school, such as churches that are in that space, such as residents that are in that space? And then if we can use the existing facility and enhance it, because this study says that that's exactly what needs to be done, we've already solved the problem.
Well, I would say you can't have the location be too remote, or then the officers, the sheriffs, the police officers can't get the prisoners there, and
that is a problem with this too. Some of the workers can't depend on it.
I've sat through a lot of zoning cases. I don't know how many neighbors are going to stand up, raise their hand, and say, "Yes, put the jail in our neighborhood." So you're going to have to balance.
But do we have two jails that exist already?
A
We have a women's
location
prison and a jail.
that is, well, look, I think the people who use that park and love the park would raise their hand and say, hey, not in Shelby Farms. We've heard them over and over and over again.
All of us
fight.
use that park. Everybody uses that park. There's more space in that complex where we could simply develop that land and say, now we have all of the jails in a centralized space. We can lower the cost of transporting people. We can manage it better, put the criminal justice space on Shelby County owned land already, and make it what it should be.
That might be the best spot. We shouldn't eliminate any spots before we have a full evaluation.
Study them all equitably.
Seems like an uphill battle still. All right, when we come back, some of the problems overlap in the jail as in MSCS school buildings, unfortunately. And we're going to get into how nasty some of these kids are going to school and having to deal with when we come back.